Right, let's see if it'll pop off. Just slacken the voice off a bit. Yeah, there he goes. Right, I'll see you back at the bench. Right. Oh dear, look at the state of that. That's no wonder that the axles are rusted. Even the sprung suspension part here, look. It's seen rather better days. Oh, that made me jump then. I thought it was a creepy crawly. I hate spiders. That don't do any favours. A lump of sponge in there soaking up the water, which I think has probably been the problem. Yeah, that axle arrangement there, I think I might have to replace that as well as the axles. Yeah, not in great shape, is it? I'm gonna have to probably what I'll probably do is soak that in some WD-40 and just see if the wheels will actually slacken off. But if they don't, it's new axles, but it looks like it's new axles anyway. I would just like to soak it probably now while it's still on the chassis and see where we go from there. Yeah, that's the worst chassis I've ever seen. Right, blow molded interior, pretty basic. Steering wheels there, they ain't broken or anything, so there's one good thing about it. Got a good interior. We've got a crack in the windscreen here, so it looks like I should be firing up my windscreen removal tool to remove that. You always run the risk of running a drill over that rivet and it catching that crack, and it goes right across. I haven't got the casting clamped too tight because I don't want to distort it. Right, that should be more than enough. Right, I think my iron's hot enough. Let's give it a go. There we go. I use 5mm long fixings, and by the time you take into account the washer I have to use for them, so that they don't go through the hole on the chassis, and the actual thickness of the chassis as well, you can probably find that I only need to go down about probably about 4mm max. Some of these castings are really nice to tap, and others are quite hard. Right, I think that's gone down far enough for both of those posts. That's more than enough. Right, so there is the option of leaving that bit of plastic in there so that you can use a bit of super glue when you glue the windscreen back, but I tend to just pop them out. Just watch your eyes, because they have a habit of becoming airborne. Well, that one's alright. Now when I put it through the bead blaster, I then give it a check over to make sure there's no casting flash or any sort of extra paint that's been overlooked in the nooks and crannies. And once I've fettled that body, I then put it through the bead blaster again to get a nice even finish on it. Now the problem I've got with this is I know for a fact if I bead blast this corrosion is going to be present. So it's a good idea for me now to get rid of that, and also to go around the window apertures as well, clean those up if they need doing. Now I use excuse me, this type of file here. It's actually an oval file, and I find this really good for getting right in the corners of the window frames. Because of the shape of it, I can rock it and get right in tight to get rid of the casting. If I use a flat file, you probably find that you won't be able to get in there. So I use this type of file for the window apertures. I'm not going to use a file on the casting because I find that they can leave deep scratches. I'm going to use this sharpening stone. This is something that well, mainly engineers use even today, you know, a sharpening stone for removing burrs, because it's quite a smooth cut on these stones, and you don't run the risk of removing too much material while deburring something. So this here would be ideal for cleaning this casting. It is a little bit big. I'm going to have to probably use it like this to get in underneath the paint originally, and find out how bad this corrosion is. See how I'm twisting the file and get it right in the corners. Right. Always check the bumpers along here. There it goes. There we go. Looks like the WD probably has helped. Well, that's 3. Will this do the same? Yep. There it goes. Yeah, the state of that. That bead blaster wouldn't have got in there and cleaned that up. It's probably lost a bit of its memory as well. It's very, very thin. Right, I think I can make a new one of those up, so that's not a problem. So let's have a look, see what we got in the way of a chassis here. Yeah, seems okay, doesn't it? I think it needs a bit of tweaking. I don't know how I'm going to fix this to the chassis. I would like to bolt it, but of course I've got to be careful because I don't want anything with too large of a head at the bottom of the chassis. That's going to rub the ground, so I've got to think about that. So there we go. Oh, it's alive. Yeah, it's not brilliant. It's all a bit rough around here, but it's the best I could do with the tools I've got here. I suppose I could have taken it to work and put it on a milling machine, but you're talking about half-hour setup there to get that to do what I wanted there. So it's a bit rough, but it'll serve its purpose. Now this is obviously it's still got scuffs on it, mainly on the front rear screen. So I'm going to rub around the area with this here. This is Auto Glim. This is a paint restorer. This is like a finer version of the T-cut you can buy, and I find this all right actually. I've tried T-cut on these windscreens and it's a bit too coarse, but this Auto Glim product's all right. So it's just a matter of persevering really with a cotton bud here. I ain't going to get all the scuffs out. I'm not one of these that goes through a process of using sanding sponges, because at the end of the day I do tend to try and keep a bit of the patina of the model present. It's all part of its history, these scratches and things. Yeah, I'm not going to gain anything doing that twice. Yeah, that'll do for me. That's lovely. Right, I'm going to give that my polish treatment, and that will be that finished. It's been soaked in the washing powder solution and just given a clean up. I don't intend painting this. I intend leaving it red because the colour I'm planning on spraying this, the red interior would match it. So I'm not going to do a great deal of work on that. The wheels are often been cleaned. As I said before, I've got the new spring here, and that should make a vast improvement. And look at the way the chassis turned out. It's turned out really good, isn't it? It wasn't looking that great when I stripped it down. There is a bit of corrosion starting to eat in the chassis itself, but you know, it's of its age, and I'm going to try and clean that up because it's all part of its history really. And we come to the main body. Now this is cleaned up okay. There are a few areas though, just on the corner of the bonnet here where I didn't pick up before I removed the paint, but I've got a feeling that it's very little there. It's slight bubbling like I had down the side here, which is cleaned up okay actually, but I'm hoping that the primer and the top coats will hide that. And that's turned out okay. Nice bit of detailing on this. all becomes apparent when you get that thick paint off. Right, a little update on this chassis business here. I found this rather difficult actually to peen the end of these axles over because the actual suspension spring wasn't fitted, and as you remember, the front chassis here had a lot of play in it. I haven't addressed that because when I looked at it after I bead blasted it, there were even cavities, so I got a feeling that they're there for a purpose. But I do have suspension now, and when you push the wheels up they go back, and I think that's why the actual cavities there were elongated. I think it's been designed to do that. The back ones on the other hand, they're just up and down. Those are pretty good, but that spring's working really well. It's just a shame that I couldn't use my jig. I've made a jig up for doing the peening on the axles, but because they were flopping around, it was very, very difficult. And possibly in hindsight, I should have probably fitted a spring after inserting one side of the axle in, and that would have probably helped it support it, but they're still floppy anyway. The spring has been held in with a countersunk M2 fixing, with a M2 washer, an M2 spring washer, and an ordinary nut. So that's pulled down really well there. So I'm quite happy with the way that spring's turned out. So I've ran a tap down through the post to clean the threads up. I put the steering wheel back into the interior here. Bit of sponge, stop the interior from dropping. I've added some tyres. These aren't new, these are second hand. And I shall be screwing this down with some M2x5 pan-head slotted screws with a 2mm washer. So away we go. Get that out of the way. Right, well that's pulled up all right. That seems to be okay. Not too sure about this axle, you know. Is this an early form of front axle steering that Dinky have made here? Because there's an awful lot of slack there, and as I said to you a couple of times in the video, the cavities there were evenly shaped, and it didn't look like it was wear or rust. So am I right in saying that's a form of early Dinky steered axle? I don't know. Anybody know any different? Leave a comment in the usual place. Yeah, so yeah, the detailing's okay on it. I'm happy with the detailing. It's come up all right actually. I'm glad of that colour that I've chose there, and the windscreen's cleaned up okay, really nice. So all in all, it's turned out to be a nice little restoration, that, and something a bit different.